Hello.
Hello.
Who do we have here with us? Some very new people.
Yeah, I've never been a guest on that live stream.
Yeah.
That's new.
First time this year.
As well, yeah. First stream of the year, and we're back with everyone here. Who are we though? Who are you?
Oh,
Who am
yes.
I?
Oh, yes. We can start with you first and then I can go next.
Okay. So I'm Alimi, developer advocate at Postman, and I'm here with Mina.
Samina, developer advocate at Postman. Oh, this. Oh, I can see the count of people watching today. Yes.
Is that going to stress you out?
Yeah. Oh, it's
So
increasing. Yes. Okay. We should give them something.
So Mina is hosting the office hours this time. Usually it's me, and then she comes in as a guest. But we decided to change things for this new year, so she's going to take over the stream. Might bring in some new guests, but yeah, it's all yours now. So if you want to answer some people's questions, if they have some, we can do that. If you'd rather just play games with the viewers, we can do that too. You're the host. You decide.
Okay, so we usually, yeah, we'll wait for people's questions, and once there are questions, we'll also answer them. But right now, because there are no questions, I think we can just start blabbering. So I can. Oh yeah, we want to talk about Galaxy.
What is Galaxy?
So Galaxy is basically where Earth is. Earth is like the
Thanks.
yeah, they'll just the counters start decreasing now. They'll just go off. They'll be like wrong.
Okay, let me rephrase that question. What is Postman Galaxy then?
Yes. And I'm going to share my screen so that it comes up hopefully with something pretty. Oops, wrong event, but
That works too. We can talk about that one.
okay. Yes, so before Postman Galaxy, and if a few of you all actually want to win this API hack, you can actually win it, and you can. Oh, there's this. Yeah, you can be the hackathon winners will be announced with a great fanfare at Postman Galaxy API conference. So, yeah, we know Postman Galaxy is our conference, and that's happening when
2 to 4 of February.
yes, second, third, fourth Feb. So sorry, I'm mixing these two, but okay, well, let's go back to Postman API hack. What's the Postman API hack? So we have pretty pictures here, and we have really great prices. Almi, tell us what we have to do in order to get these prices.
So just like any hack, I think, and that's the first one that Postman is actually running. You'll have to get creative. You can put a team together, or you can participate on your own. But the aim is going to be to build a public workspace that demonstrates some usage of an API or some like way to do something using Postman. Public workspaces are some like new feature from Postman that we've released late last year, I believe. So if you want to learn more about it, you can go either to that URL that Mina is currently showing. I don't know if you can post it on the chat maybe for them to take. Or you can go to DevPost, which is the company we're working with to host the hack. So yeah, you probably saw the prices on the page. It goes from 25K US dollars for the first place to 5K for like the 10
Moonshot price.
moonshot price.
Oh, yeah.
So all of this is up for grabs. You can participate starting now all the way to, I think, a week before Galaxy, so that we have time with the jury to decide who's actually winning the thing or not. And yeah, it's going to be announced at Postman Galaxy, so we can probably switch. Do you want me to show Postman Galaxy on my screen?
Okay.
Let me get this. Where is it? Oop.
Too soon. Yeah.
That's fine. Postman Galaxy. So Postman Galaxy is our user conference that's coming up February 2nd to 4th. In 20 days, there's actually a countdown on the website. And we've got a couple of nice keynote speakers, just like Steve Wozniak or Elena Ochoa. And then plenty of different talks around API. So if you're interested, I'll post that in the chat as well. Yep. And there's a whole schedule that you can check. So first day is workshops. There's still, I think we're done with the early bird pricing, but you can still join. There's still tickets available. So there's a few different type of workshops, API 101, student workshop, working with APIs, etc., etc. And then you've got different sessions on different days. So I'm not going to go through them all. There's plenty. There's like 50 plus sessions, I think. So if you're interested, check out that website and look for any session that may interest you. The conference itself is free. Only the workshops are to pay for. So I'd recommend joining.
Yes. We'll have another office hours at the conference too, right?
Yeah, yep. So if you have more questions in a month from now, we'll also be there to answer them. I actually thought I lost you there because you went on mute, and I thought my internet was playing games again with me.
No, I thought there was some background sound here. So
That's fine. Put some life to the stream. Okay, so I can't see any questions coming in, so I'll just repeat. If you have any Postman questions, then you should post them on the chat. So you may be watching us on Twitter. In that case, I think you can reply to the tweet and then we'll see it. You may be watching it on YouTube. Therefore, there should be a chat below that you can type in or on the side. And if you're watching on Twitch, same, there's a chat on the side. But you need to log in if you want to ask any questions on these platforms. So once you ask a question, we can reply. I'll just check that there's no questions on Twitter that I'm missing. And if not, what could we show? Is there anything we want to show? Let's see. Is there any demo that you want to go through, Mina? Or anything that you think would be interesting?
I was just wondering if there's anything new that there's on the Explore that we can look at, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Let me just check Twitter very quick, and then I'll switch to the Explore. Okay, cool. So let's go on Postman for the web. So hopefully you can all see my screen and it's big enough for everyone to see.
Are you
so
good now?
Yeah, I mean, the name of the team is Meow, and I'm very bad at finding like original names. So
It's okay. I'm also Meena Meow. So
nice. So the Explore is changing. This used to be the Postman API network. It still is, but it used to be only collections and templates, and now it's growing into different things. The first one you're going to see is a team. So you can filter things out by team, and the team is just a company. It could be a person as well. So I think, let me check if I can find a team that is a person. Oh,
yeah, I tried looking for people. I'm not sure. I think we can search for teams. I'm not sure we can search for people.
Okay. So forget what I just said. This is all teams. But you can filter by team, and if I want to look at who would I want to look at? Let's find out.
Probably. So I was thinking, well, let's go through Workspace. Let's see if there's some interesting workspace that we want to look at, and then we can see who created the workspace. So then we can go to the team profile.
So Workspace is going back to what we talked about before, the hackathon. This is the kind of stuff that we're expecting the participants to create. So Workspace is a resource of different collections, API, that you can share with us. So for example, if we look at the Oh, this guy has so many workspaces. No, see, we already have some like submissions here. Let's look at the ship engines one.
Yeah, I think maybe they have the good visualizations, I guess.
Let's see. So they have, I don't think they have any any API. I don't think they have any environment, but they have a collection. So all I'm seeing here is public, and I'm not part of that team. And I could even just be in a private window and access it as well. And I could see the same thing. So I'll just do that in a private window. So you see I'm not signed in, it's just public documentation. And I can go through, see there are different like API endpoints. It's basically like API docs for now, where I can see how I would make a call. And I can even, if I want to see the actual documentation, I can go here at the collection level, click view complete collection documentation, and then just like most API docs, I guess, you have the docs, but what you have on top is you have different languages for like generating code snippets. So if I want to do some PHP, because PHP is still cool, some people may say, not me, but some people would say that, and you could just copy paste that into your code and that would work, hopefully. But where you can add on top is that just from here, I can go straight to the request that is corresponding. And if I were to be logged in, so let me go back to my account.
Okay, so you can't do anything. You can't send. You can't.
I can't send a request. But let's say I'm a third party and I'm seeing this request. If I wanted to provide some feedback, or if I had any questions to James, who's created that workspace, I could go into comments and I could say, let me actually do. Let's find one that has like parameters. See this one? I'm going to go into comments and I'll say, can I tag him? I don't think I can. But I'll ask, can this be, how do you write rupees?
RUPEES.
Okay. So I could send that. And then the owner of the public workspace would get the notification and we can interact directly on the API like this. We don't have to go on a third-party forum. We don't have to go on a Twitch stream to discuss like how to use that API. We can do the work already there. So that's one thing I can do. The other thing I can do, again, I'm on my demo account. I can fork that collection and bring it to my personal space. So I'll call it stream and bring it to my workspace.
Oh yes, this is Jed 9993 helping us with the spelling of this. Thank you, Jed.
I couldn't find this workspace. What do you mean? My workspace is right here. Okay, so I brought it in and with my fork name. And now I can just send a request just like a normal thing. So obviously I'm guessing this requires some authentication. Let's see. Look at the documentation. I need an API key to run them. So I'm guessing if I go ahead and send them, I'm going to get told off. Yeah, it says can't do that. Unauthorize, which makes sense. I do not have an account. But if I were to do that on a public API, then it would just work. And then actually, let's do that. That's the other thing I wanted to show. So I showed how you can interact on the public workspace. I showed how you can bring it, but now I want to show how you can add some stuff. So
before that,
let's say
I have a question about forking though. Maybe for the people who've been using this since a long time, there used to be an option to just import a collection. Why would we choose to fork it instead of importing it?
I kind of want to make a schema for that, but TLDR, when you fork, you keep the origin and you can always get the data from there. So it used to be disconnected where you would run a Postman collection or just import it, and then you would lose the connection to the original one. So if the original collection was being updated, yours would not. Whereas here, I've got this, and it's a fork of the original one. So if Ship Engine ends up updating that collection, what I can do, just go here, and I can, I think, pull changes or something like that when it's updated.
Merge changes. I think.
Yeah, and then that will show a change log that says, oh, this has been updated, and I can just like pull them all together. So I don't have to go out, import again, check if there's any changes, transfer my work. It would keep, like, if I've edited some stuff, then it would keep the changes, but just import what's new. Just like any Git system, basically. And just like any Git system, what I can do is I can go ahead and do some changes. So what would I want to change, for example? I'm just going to add some documentation here.
So you're the person who is forked from the origin right now.
Yeah. Okay. So I've forked it, and I'm not quite happy with their. Actually, I'm not quite happy with their test here. I feel like it's missing some documentation. So I'm going to go ahead and just add that, saving the API response into response. And then what is this doing? Checking if there are carriers. Okay, so I've done a couple of changes, and once I've done that, and I feel like that's something that is valuable to the API, we can discuss where like these comments are valuable or not. But let's say they are. We can go ahead and create a pull request for James and the whole like Ship Engines team to review my pull request and say, oh, okay, that's something that we like to have in our main collection. So they just put it in. So let's go ahead. Public workspace of your life. Sounds like a nice workspace. Okay. Oh. No. Close enough. Let's go again. That was the one. Create pull request. Okay, so now you can see there's a change log. It says I've added these 2 lines, and they would see the same thing on the other side. So I can add a title. Again, I'm not going to go through that because I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to actually pollute like their workspace with comments or pull requests. But I could do that, and then if I'm on the other side, I see this pull request coming in. I review it just like I would review any like pull request on my day-to-day work, and merge it in if I'm happy with it, or just they could comment on the pull request and say, "What is this doing? I don't think we need this." I can say no to the pull request, just like any version control.
Okay, so this means that I can contribute back to the APIs that I actually use.
Yeah, and then that's where I think we're trying to go with these public workspaces, and that's probably where you're trying to lead me with your questions.
No, I find that really cool, especially because a couple of times when I just go through a few of the workspaces or the collections and the APIs that I'm using, I feel like sometimes I just need to go back to their website because there's some information that's not there on the collection, or there are some parameters or there are some missing examples. So I guess all of these can be chances for you to contribute back to the APIs that you use.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things so both on the producer side, so like the API producer, they've noticed that when they have their collections are valuable, but they struggle to like let the community know about the changes, etc. Just like any community, it's hard to like let people know about changes. And on the consumer side, obviously, you want to be able to like be warned if there's any changes in an API. So that kind of solved this disconnection between the two, and that's where the public workspace is where everyone meets and everyone's happy because they can work on the same thing at the same time. Actually, now that I think of it, is there a Dolby public workspace?
Yes, I have. I should have a pull request over there.
Okay, let's see. So do you want to talk about Dolby and what they do?
Okay, yes. So Dolby has, I think we've heard of like Dolby sound, and there's an icon of Dolby on my television set. So we have a lot of APIs that will help you enhance the sound. So if you're building a podcast, or if you're recording something, you want to improve the voice quality. So they have APIs for that. I think just a couple of settings that you have to mention in the request body, and then it can improve the quality of the sound. And there's also analyzing. Oh yeah, there's the media analyze collection. I think that's one. That's the one. If you give it like a piece of audio, it can analyze and come up with details about like how much noise is there on the sound and all of that. So,
Okay. And can you do like stream these APIs as well, or is it only like you send it a bunch of audio and then it comes back with the response? Or could we like use it on the stream, for example?
What it does is, oh yeah, I was thinking we can try it, but we need an API key and all of that. Hello. Oh, there's somebody.
Hello, Ali. Ali, who's one of our community student manager.
Developer student community manager.
Student, yeah, it's 3 words. You just need to put them in the right order. And obviously, I got it wrong. But yeah. If you're, so I think Ali, if I'm not mistaken, you're in charge of the communities in India. So if anyone is in India here, which I'm guessing some of our watchers maybe, and you're working at the uni or in a bootcamp or doing anything related to APIs and are interested in learning about Postman or like having your community learn about Postman, you should reach out to Ali because he can help with that. Of course, I remember you. We work in the same company, even though I have to say it's been pretty hard lately because we recruit like. Disclaimer: Postman is recruiting for so many roles. So if you're interested, you should go to postman.com/careers. And we're recruiting so many people every week that it's hard to keep track. But communities are like close to my heart, so I would remember the people that work on the community. Let me actually drop the Careers page on the chat as well. I think that's one. /company/careers. There's who's that? Danny Dineton that's talking? I don't know this guy.
Oh, new new name. No,
New
Danny, we don't know you, Danny.
Never seen him before. Must be a foreigner. Okay, so that's if you're interested, click view open positions and join us maybe. Back to public workspaces.
Yes. Oh yeah, I spoke about the Dolby APIs and what they can do. Oh yeah, and then you asked me something, and then we spoke about something else. Okay, yes, you asked me how to use those APIs. So let's find out from the documentation.
Well, so they have different endpoints, right? Like they have media analyze. So this one, I'm guessing, is one that you send stuff to, and it just tells you what is up. But see, I'm seeing like the media input. Okay, so that's one that would be streaming. And let's see. Secure and easy way to cluster restoration for temporary storing media file sets. No, it's just to store.
So there's a couple of new ones on the Workspace. I think they're earlier, earlier there used to be 2, like the enhance and the analyze. These are a couple of new ones, the input and the output ones.
So you said you have a pull request somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing because
it's still there.
Yeah, because I'm not part of that workspace, I wouldn't be able to see it, right?
Oh.
I can see it. So this one, for example, so that's one way that I can see a thing. We have that collection that they have, and you can see here it's already been forked 4 times. So I could fork it myself and then because I'm not part of the workspace, this 4 is not enabled and I can't click on it to see like the different forks. But if you're the workspace owner, then you can click on this and see where are the different forks, considering they're in a public space that is visible for you. You can't just like go in anyone's workspace and snoop on them.
And maybe you want to check the icons on the right side, if the
These ones?
comments or anything like that.
Oh.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Okay. So let's see. There's been some interaction on this one. So you can see what they've changed on the collection. So it's kind of a history of the thing. Let's see if there's been any comments on the collection.
Is that there was a pull request that was approved?
Yeah, I'm going there. Okay, so no comments, some history, and pull request. So what if I look at that?
And who?
I can see it was coming from Mina. Okay,
Oh,
guessing that was yours. And it was coming here.
I'm the only Meena you should know. So yes.
You can see it's been approved. And oh wait, you approved it. How does that work?
Yeah, it was funny when I raised it. There was an option to approve it, so I approved it because I raised it. So
Okay, so what did you change? You changed the URL to be Dolby API-endpoint instead of, so that's using an environment variable? Yeah. So that's actually one thing I can show as well. Oh, so this public workspace is actually a bit more complete than the one we saw right before. This one has collections, but if I'm right, these collections are they generated from these API specs? Yeah,
it should
they are.
be, yeah.
Yeah, so all starts from API specs. So they have these OpenAPI 3.0 specifications. From there, they generate documentation, which we just saw there. And they also have an environment. So again, I'm not part of that workspace, but I can still see all this, and I could bring all this to my workspace and just like get started with the Dolby API.
There's the good part about the API. If you can just go click on the
Here's
yeah. Since I use this API often, I also would like to watch it. Do we want to talk about what the watch means?
Good point. So another feature of this, which is just like we mentioned before, we are really trying to close that gap between consumer and producers. So if I'm looking for this API and actually use it in my workflow, then I want to be aware whenever there's a change to it. So I can click watch, and just like that, I'm now in the list of watchers. Again, I can't see it because it's not for me to know. Like people that are owning that workspace can access it, so they would be able to see. And now whenever there's a change, I'm getting either an email or a notification here. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen during the stream, so I can't show you the actual notification. But
you can open your email, and then we can help you find it, Alimi, if you want.
Find what?
To find if you. Oh yeah, there's not going to be a change, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the problem is that they're not going to be editing it because I'm pretty sure most of them are in the US. So they're very likely sleeping right now.
Yeah, and I'm just like the change won't happen in a jiffy. So
yeah. So yeah, that's another feature that I actually forgot about. So that's good that you reminded me.
Yeah, this is useful if you heavily use a particular API and depend heavily on it and want to immediately know about what's changed. So
yeah, it's better to learn about it this way rather than like having all your calls or your tests fail and then having to fix it. Okay, so again, I don't know if there's new joiners since, but we've been talking about public workspaces for a while. But if you have any questions on public workspaces or anything related to Postman or even related to APIs, put it on the Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch chat, for which all three you need to be logged in if you want to ask questions. And then we can have a look with Mina and try to fix your or like try to help you, not saying fix because it doesn't have to be broken, but us or like other people. Usually we try to start helping people, and then people in the chat like Danny just jump in and give the answer because they know it. So in the meantime, what else could we talk about?
If we don't get any questions, then we can probably go to the community forum. Yes. Look for questions.
Oh, we could do that too. I was just going to show, speaking of shout outs.
See the showcase, yes, shout out.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Praveen. Praveen is from, wait, I can't remember.
It should say there.
It says here, I think, from Ireland.
Stack Overflow.
He's from Stack Overflow. He lives in Stack Overflow. Yeah, I think actually, yeah. So we have a community forum, which some of you may be familiar with, where a lot of like Postman people, but also like community members help. But we also have other places where people ask questions, just like, let me put this here, Stack Overflow. So the trick with Stack Overflow, even though we have like a Postman tag and it's good to see, is that people tend to tag Postman on a lot of like
non-Postman stuff?
Non-Postman question, just because they realize it's not working using Postman. I mean, Postman is a Postman is an API testing tool, so obviously you would use Postman to try stuff out. But the good news is that we have people like Praveen who've been helping out a lot. So I'm always like kind of watching Stack Overflow, but by the time I get there, it's either Danny again or Praveen that have answered like most of the questions. So you can never be fast enough to answer some people. So yeah, that's if you want to be our next community spotlight, or if you think if you're already helping out, you may already be on the list for next community spotlight. But we try to do that to kind of just highlight what some good people are doing in the Postman community. So if you want to learn about some of our, I think we have a whole. Let's see. How do I find all the community spotlight? Oh, there we go. There's a Postman community tag, so it is Praveen. There was who else? Priscilla, which has been writing a lot of stuff on the community forum, and then you can just check it out. So I'll post that in the chat as well, because why not? Cool. Back to community forum. So yeah, let's look at questions. Praveen has been all over everything lately. Indeed. That's why I've just stopped looking at Stack Overflow. It's just no point. He's everywhere. Okay, let's do latest.
What category are you looking
So I just go any category and then see what happens. And then usually I look at the ones with 0 replies. So we could have this one, which talks about OData. There's not a lot with 0 replies. So this one, we can actually look at this one because that's a question that comes up a lot, which is, I think, how to use external libraries.
Okay.
No, wait, he's actually saying how to do it.
Oh, it's a guideline.
Oh, okay.
Is it? I'm not sure. The subject said guideline.
So it actually talks about how to use an external library. So let's see. They're getting the URL of the.
This is the library.
Yep. Save it in a global variable, and then. So here you can see this formatting is a bit weird. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that formatting to be code all the way through. Oop. that did not work. Yeah, the discourse, like, how do you call that? Indentation is not great.
Oh, you have the right to change somebody else's formatting.
Yeah, because I'm a super admin.
Ah.
Hello? It doesn't want to be code for some reason. Okay,
Oh,
amazing.
did it get worse?
Yeah, made it even worse. Let's do-
Oh, those you can just put like the triple.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Go this. Yep. Nice. Cool. So now we have an actual code snippet, so we can see you save URL, and then in pre-request script, you define navigator, a window, and then a function that uses that library. So that's actually pretty cool. I was hoping we would have a question on how to use an external library, and then we would be able to give the answer, but it's the answer straight away. There's different ways to use external libraries. And I think that's probably one of the most asked question on how to use external libraries for test. If you click Postman,
There's a couple of libraries that are available in the Postman sandbox, too, right?
yep. So you can see like there's a lot of questions around that, and there's a few ways to do it. So let's see this answer. That's probably where Hawk got his guideline from. So you can use a CDN, and then you can just use it this way. And then I think one of our colleagues has let's see, could I type no? So one of our colleagues actually created a package that allows you to use external libraries like this. So it's a Postman CLI where you export your Postman collection to local, then you use it with the CLI, and you can just use required like you would in any like other
Library.
like in any other project to include like other libraries using npm install. And that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna post that as well in the chat, posting all of the things in the chat.
Yeah, I was. So it shows up as get Postman. I was wondering who else
It's me.
posted this in the beginning. Yeah.
It's only me. So yeah, that's the two main ways. First one like would be using that CLI, which makes you use a third-party tool, or the other one is just directly in Postman. You can use like environment variable, but the requirement for this one is that your library actually has a CDN. And I'm gonna post this one on the chat too. Cool. So that's one question that we didn't have to do anything for. But
Because we very conveniently opened a guideline.
I'm just thinking, should we move that to? Oh, there's no real like place for that. Okay, cool. So back to latest. Let's see what else. All these ones seem to have answers. This one is locked. This one is Postman Galaxy.
I think we can sort them.
Oh, can we sort by no replies? But then it's not latest, right? Yeah, see, like some of them would be from like 17.
But because maybe the latest ones have already been answered.
Let's see.
Probably.
No, that's not what I want to do. Okay. This we can do. Activity. So we have a question here from one of our Postman student expert. which is another thing I could talk about, but then I'm just going to talk about everything but the actual using Postman. So let's keep it for later. Have a file with 20,000 records. From this, I need to randomly pick around 150 records and then use in my script. This is possible. Can anyone help me with this?
This is JavaScript-ish question.
Yeah, it's most so. Considering we don't really know how they're using the file. Are they like querying that file through an API? Are they using the collection runner, using that file as a parameter? Or is it like, do they use this file just as a variable in Postman? So based on how they use it, there's different ways to do it. So that's one of the things that most of the questions start with, is just asking for more clarification. So here, I think if they're using it as a global variable, then definitely it's a JavaScript question. It's all about like just using a randomizing like function to pick different things. If they're using the collection runner, I don't think you can. It's just going to take the first 151, or like just you can't randomize as far as I know. And if they're consuming that file through an API, then maybe the API offers like a parameter that is the line or the ID of the object they're trying to query. So let's just ask for more. Another question not solved. How is that?
But it's a step ahead. Once we get more clarity, we'll be able to help out more.
Okay, let's see. This one is fairly recent, 22 minutes ago. Hopefully no one's going to answer it in the meantime. How to test OData protocols in Postman. Any documentation? So a lot of, well, how would you answer that? Like, what would be your process to answer this?
Yeah, I want to understand what OData is. I'm not very familiar with if it's an API or if it's a protocol. So need to know more about it to answer.
Best way to REST. Open Data Protocol that defines a set of best practices for building and consuming RESTful APIs. So it's a metadata readable description of the data model of the APIs. Okay.
Is it like a specification?
Yeah, it sounds like a specification. I think that sounds to be the Microsoft one. Yeah. Microsoft Open Specification Promises. Okay, so
What's the question again?
how to test OData protocols. So now what's the OData protocol? Open protocol description. I mean, it sounds to me like it's a specification that
Well,
it's just an API at the end of the day, right?
do with it? With an
No.
key.
The other trick is like OData Postman test. Well, there you go. From the official website. Learning OData on Postman, using Postman for testing your OData environment. Sounds like there is some stuff that tells you how to do it.
They have a collection.
Let's see. That's a lot of views. That's pretty good. It's fairly recent. It's like a year old. That's a good one. And there's like 4 different blogs on how to do it. I mean, it sounds to me like that's what that person is looking for. So instead of reinventing the wheel,
We'll check if that link helps.
Yeah. Go. Hey, R. Welcome to the Postman community. Wait. It's my favorite emoji right there. Have you had a look at?
Has those 3 lines on it. Initially, I thought it's like a slap. So
Oh, no, it would be a slap if it was only 3 lines on one side, because then it would be one movement.
yeah.
But because it's on both sides, it's a. If this doesn't help, please. Oh, okay, that's not what it doesn't cover. Oh yeah, it's like a double slap.
Yeah.
It's like a back and forth.
It's like the slap that is going to sound really loud. So.
Okay, so that's good.
Double.
So another trick for anyone out there, a lot of the times the questions that you may have will already be answered on the web. So it's a bit weird that I'm saying that on that stream, which is specifically to answer your question. This is the one place where you can ask any question that may already be answered, and we'll be happy to go through it. But in general, if we're not live right now and you can't reach out to us for any answer, Google is one place, community forum is another one.
There's GitHub, which has a lot of questions answered sometimes.
Which one?
GitHub.
Yeah, GitHub or GitHub repository is another one, and Stack Overflow, obviously, which is another one of the big ones. Okay, let's keep going. We're on a roll.
So many questions.
I'm just pumping my Discord stats there.
We can keep going through these questions again. Reminder, if for any of y'all watching, if y'all have any questions, we can try them out live and hopefully answer them, or maybe ask y'all for more clarity.
Let's see. So there's for anyone who's looking to participate in the hack, there's actually a hack section here where you can have, if you're taking part and you're not sure how to get started, if you're looking to build a team, if you're getting started, but then there's something you're not sure whether it should be there, for example, how to add a note to request, then you can get in, ask your question, and someone will answer. And then, for example, this one, I need help create app for the hackathon challenge. So that's one of the things where you need to be more precise in your question, because obviously we're not going to create a public workspace for that person, but if they tell us more about what they're trying to achieve, we can either help them build a team or give them directions, which is basically what Hannah is asking here. And then this one, I would like to add a note to a request. My best idea for now is to add to JavaScript pre-request.
Oh, there's Danny here.
Danny's everywhere. Doesn't count. Thank you. Okay, so Danny talked about inline comment. That's something that we've showed before when we're going through public workspaces. There's different types of comments in Postman. Let's roll back to the beginning of the stream when we're doing public workspaces. So you can comment on the collection. So right here, collection level, you can comment at the folder level, but you can also comment inline. Inline means you'll go in the code and you can comment at a specific place. For example, if you want to comment on a specific parameter here, there's no parameter. But if I want to comment on this one, I can comment right here. If there are tests, is there any collection with tests?
It'll have a request body, I think.
Ah, nice. I can comment on this specific thing if I want. So that's called inline comments. And then anyone getting a notification for this will be aware that it's exactly there, that there's a question. And then once the question has been answered or resolved, they can just resolve the discussion or like the comments. So that's the inline comments that Danny mentions here. Well, it doesn't look like we have tons of like new questions. Last look. Chaining requests with previous headers. Okay. Cool. Here's a good explanation. A good question. It looks. Day 2 of using Postman. Trying to chain a few requests together that need to happen sequentially and depends on output from other requests.
Oh, maybe like,
Let's see.
you know,
Log in every hour, extract a token. Okay, that's fine. List the project, list the machine, get status of all machines from all projects. Truncate outputs to only relevant data. Okay. Request reel are simple and straightforward. What I'm having trouble doing is automatically inserting the header. The issue is that XSRF token isn't listed in the body of the login output. It's a cookie, so I'm not sure what command I need to run to extract that. It's a good question.
Oh, to get out of the cookie.
So is pm.cookies a thing? Let's see. I think we have a brand new section of the docs that actually highlights all the way everything you can do.
This is Danny says about inline comments.
They are now available on the API schema. Let's have a quick look. Quick. Where's my...
Dolby Workspace had
Oh, that's the one. Let's see.
APIs.
I go here. Comment. Okay, cool. So you can also comment here in line. Nice. Yeah, sorry. Just a quick way out. Let's see. Is access to the list of cookies associated with the request. Check whether a particular cookie.
Maybe the dot get.
Yep. Get the value. And then specify domain access. Okay, cool. So that looks like what is missing here, right?
Yeah.
So ideally, we can send a link to this. Hey, Atomic Super Geek. Do you have any question for us? Because we're going to log out in about 5 minutes. So if you have any question, drop them here now.
In 5, 4.
Background TV, Postman, community. I mean, we're about to get off, but there's another session later today in about 10 hours, I think. So if you're
there's another office hours.
that is like America's friendly, if this is where you're coming from. So that could be, it's 11 a.m. Pacific time. Yes.
Recently started using Postman.
Body of the cookie.
Questions?
So many questions. It's always the same. Questions come in when we are like about to. That's fine. Let me just finish to answer that one. So we actually saw that apparently he was not using the correct thing here.
Maybe dot get cookies to get the value of this cookie.
Yeah, pyramid cookies that gets a cookie name. Instead of cookies.
Atomic Super Geek, the community forum is usually very helpful. So if you're just getting started with learning REST APIs and playing around with Postman, you can just hang around there and can help you with a lot of questions starting out.
Okay, let's see. So, just starting using Postman, learning REST API programming. Yeah, so yeah, if you are learning, plenty of resources on the community forum, but also on our YouTube channel, on our Learning Center, plenty of places that you may want to have a look at. So I'll quickly, shameless plug, Postman YouTube channel. I'd recommend looking at the playlist probably based on what you're looking for. Level Up are short, like minute or minute and a half videos of doing different things in Postman. These 4K videos are like longer versions of demos, and then we have what do we have? These are replays from our Postman live stream. Here you have workshops from our Postman user conference last year. Plenty of stuff. Have a look around, and that should help you getting started for sure. Let's see what you have. Danny, so a new version of the app released to the Canary channel. What's that all about? That's a very good question because I've not updated Postman Canary in so long. So have a look. Postman Canary. Oops.
Is that on another screen? Are you?
Yep. That was. There we go. Let's see. Check for updates. Okay, so as you can tell, I'm still on. Ooh, okay. So Postman V8 is now available on Canary. Postman V8 is basically Postman for the web, so the experience you get on the web for now. Let me show you quickly. So that's the new Postman for the web, brand new UI. You have access to all the things here, and there's a whole video that runs through all of this. And that's the old Postman V7, which is, you can see the differences in design, etc. And apparently now in Postman Canary,
You see the newer UI?
you get the new UI. So I'm not going to start the update now because we don't have time. But if you want to check out the web experience, but on your desktop, then I'd recommend checking Postman Canary. And to get Postman Canary, you've got to go to postman.com/downloads, and then scroll down to Postman Canary. And I'm going to put it on the chat.
Yes. And we have another question.
Okay.
Just before.
Is it possible to write all the responses to a file when you run a Postman collection?
If we can, okay, so let's.
So you can write. So the
writing it to a variable and then.
Yeah. So you could. There's different ways to do it. Either you would need at each request, you need to add some scripts so it writes individually each request to a file, or just like Mina said, you could, for each request, you save the response in a global variable or an environment variable, and then the last request in your collection run writes to a file. So let's look at write to file Postman. There's a Postman template that helps you to do that. Oh, it's in a, let me see, write to file. Which one is, this one is public. Oh, it's not, okay.
There should be a template. Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah. Write responses to file. Okay, nice. So I'm going to send you this link, which is a collection that shows you how to write to a file using directly using the tests, so pre-request and test scripts, and having a node server that runs locally on your machine. So from there, you can either duplicate this for each of your requests in the collection run, or again, each of the response, you save them in a variable, and then in the last request, you save to a file. So I'm going to send this, and then where's my chat? My chat is right here.
There's also a video, I think, by Valentin Despa, the one that Danny is sharing on the chat.
And then another way to do it is using Newman. So Newman is the CLI collection runner for Postman collection, and Valentin has done that video that shows you how to do it using Newman. So that's two different ways to do it. If you're happy using the CLI, then I'd recommend going the Newman way. If you'd rather do it directly in Postman, then go the other way that I've shared, and that both will work. And that should answer your question, hopefully. How can I say Postman? Yeah, Mr. J. How can I set Postman to not use cookies at all as default? I don't think you can do that as the default for the whole Postman. You'll have to do it at the request level. So if you got the request level, you can go in settings. Let me show you on the app. So I'm on a specific request here. I can go in settings, and then I can disable the cookie jar right here. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's visible at the workspace level. Let me just check. Settings, retain headers. No, it doesn't look like we can do that. So yeah, you can only do it at the request level. So any request you go in, this one, for example, that's the one that's already open. This one, settings.
What's the aim? Like, what are we trying to do?
So we're trying to have the cookies not being sent with a specific request. So that's usually the use of that is for debugging different requests. So if you send the cookies, then the server identifies you and doesn't react the same way. So in testing environments, often you just don't want to be identified by the server. So you just want to send the same request without a cookie jar attached to it, and then it recreates the same functionality every time.
Okay, so you're saying this is available at a request basis, but not entirely for the app.
Yep. Okay.
Cool.
Just like that, in 5 minutes, we've had 3 different questions. So I think all it says is that we should move the time of the stream to an hour later.
Yeah.
Probably. We can experiment with that probably in 2 months.
Cool. So does this mean we're signing off?
Back to you. You're the host. You decide. Are we done here? Do we want to do anything else?
Okay. So I guess, I guess no more questions. Okay. For the Americas people, there's another office hours coming up at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So I think Joyce and Sean are going to be there to answer all of your questions in case they weren't answered right now. And yes, I think we sign off for the day.
All right, it's for the day. Well, I still have a whole half a day of work to do at least. But
no, for the people watching, for their day.
I know.
Go back to doing our work. So.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye, Mina.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.